Sunny Street Detective. The Giant Footprint. It was a peaceful morning on Sunny Street until Balut let out a yell that could be heard 3 blocks away. "Guys! A monster! A real-life, giant monster was here," he shouted, pointing a trembling finger at the muddy ground near the park entrance. Maya and Aras rushed over, their eyes widening at the sight. There, pressed deep into the soft earth, was a massive footprint. It was 3 times the size of a human foot, with 4 sharp claw marks at the front. Aras didn't look scared, he looked fascinated. He adjusted his glasses and knelt by the print, pulling a high-tech scanning device from his pocket. "Balut, calm down. Monsters don't exist," he said logically, though his messy hair seemed to stand up even straighter with excitement. "But this is definitely not a dog or a bear. The pressure depth suggests whatever made this weighs at least 500 pounds. Balut gripped his magnifying glass tight, peering through it at a nearby bush. Maya walked a few steps ahead, following the trail. "It only goes in one direction," she noted, scribbling in her notebook. If it were a local animal, there would be a return path to the woods. Suddenly, she spotted something caught on a low-hanging branch of a willow tree. It was a tuft of bright electric blue fur. Balut gasped. "Blue fur? That confirms it. It's a blue stomper from the outer dimensions." The children decided to question the first witness they could find, Mr. Silas. The park gardener was nearby trimming some hedges. "Excuse me, Mr. Silas?" Maya asked, showing him her notes. "Did you see anything unusual last night? Perhaps something very large and blue?" Mr. Silas scratched his chin, looking puzzled. "I heard a strange whirring sound near the old theater storage shed around midnight," he whispered. Aras immediately began typing on his smartwatch, looking for a digital map. "The whirring sound is a key clue," Aras said, his eyes scanning the data on his screen. "Animals don't whir, Balut." They followed the trail of prints toward the north side of the park, where the grass was trampled and more blue fur was scattered. Balut was walking on his tiptoes, his magnifying glass held out like a shield. "Maybe it's a robot monster," he whispered. Aras shook his head. "Highly improbable, but let's check the theater shed." They reached the old wooden shed behind the community theater. The giant footprints led right up to the double doors, which were slightly ajar. Maya signaled for silence. Aras pulled out a small thermal camera and pointed it at the gap. "There's a heat signature inside," he whispered. "It's big, but it's stationary." Maya took a deep breath and pushed the door open just an inch further. Suddenly, a loud clang echoed from inside the shed, followed by a deep, metallic groan. Balut jumped so high he nearly lost his sneakers. "It's waking up! Run for your lives!" he squealed, hiding behind Maya. Maya didn't run. She clicked on her flashlight and shone it into the darkness. The beam hit something shiny and blue. It wasn't a monster at all, but a giant mechanical leg standing on a wooden platform. Aras stepped inside, his fear replaced by pure admiration. "It's a hydraulic prop," he exclaimed, pointing to the wires and pistons. "Look at the feet! They're covered in blue faux fur and have heavy lead weights to make them sink into the ground." Balut stepped out from behind Maya, his face turning from pale to bright red. He poked the giant toe with his magnifying glass. "Oh, so, no blue stomper?" Just then, a young man named Julian stepped out from behind a curtain, holding a remote control. "Oh, you found Titan?" he said with a laugh. "I'm the lead engineer for the new sci-fi play. I was testing the walking mechanism last night, but the stabilizer broke, and Titan took a few unplanned steps into the park before I could shut him down." Maya smiled and closed her notebook. "We thought he might be a bit more organic." "Case closed," Balut announced, suddenly acting like the bravest detective in the world. I knew it was a robot all along. I was just testing your courage." Maya and Aras shared a look and laughed. As they walked back toward Sunny Street, the sun setting behind the houses, they felt proud. They had solved the mystery of the giant footprint and learned that sometimes the things that seem most frightening are just gears and wires. Whether it was a lost letter or a giant mechanical monster, the Sunny Street detectives were always ready for the next mystery. They walked together, the shadows stretching long behind them as they reached their neighborhood. The streets were quiet again, but the three friends were already wondering what tomorrow's adventure might be.